work which shut a heart rigidly for other races. The Viking succeeded in opening the door of the heart using a dish. And I will hear a report of the information that in return Mercurio collected in Windhelm. They act to put the matter that the Viking thought about into practice. Does the merchant guild buy the product which they show?
Did you come to sell what to this merchant guild?
I came to sell the connection with the person.
Is that it? After I bought it, are you profitable?
It's up to how to use. I can hold the ore from the mine which orcs have if they use it well. I want you to decide whether at first you buy this information if you want to hear the thought of the Dazay.
Is the presentation of the price not yet possible? Still I buy the information if I don't mind.
Is it to ascertain the real intention to fix a price of the information? Then shall I have you hear a talk?
As for some people who brought in the goods of the product, you try what came to sell the thing which there isn't of the form for the first time so far though you looked.
I heard that the ore of ebony treated in present conditions, Windhelm was wholesaled directly by Stormcloak and some merchants. Does this information not have a mistake?
That's sure.
And the ebony is processed by a buyer and it is sold in several times of the wholesale price or is used in Stormcloak. I heard so but is it reliable, too?
Yes, that's right.
Dazay got trust in the fort of Narzulber, and the use of the mine was accepted. Present conditions, Dazay are to say that the merchant guild can wholesale all the ores produced in the mine.
It's a very interesting story. But even if the value of 10,000 gold can buy no rock to the utmost with that alone, only is for the price of the ore to bring in. Because you will understand it, will the talk not be over with that alone?
That's right. It's a point to be able to wholesale an ore in all merchant guild to want you to pay attention. A condition was with it, but it had you recognize it that I exchanged orc and an opinion, a non-same tribe acted in the mine. Dazay wants to sell the information to the merchant guild.
It's the reason that I thought to be able to give the profit that's higher than 10,000 gold because I buy the information. So it's how much, and do you want to sell the information to the merchant guild?
It'd be up to a judgment of the guild whether I consider 25,000 gold, this to be cheap, or you consider that it's high.
It's a ridiculous price. The estimate that's too high for the information that you individual brings in. Naturally the merchant guild cannot pay the price.
Sorry to become late. I got Dark Elf too, the strict promise of Argonian too. I could not move with it, but for a countryman, Mr. Beelan, of the farmer promised supply of the food.
Mercurio, a good timing. I thank for value of information negotiating having been finished in this remarkably.
Catty, what kind of thing?
Specifically, I talk later. Make it focus in these negotiations now. By the way, of the story of a while ago have a series of. I said that it was stupid as the information that an individual brought in. But may the circumstances change if a person except persecuted Nord which is in Windhelm increases as a real worker in the mines now? Of course it will have unreasonableness that they continue living in a fort of orc. You come to have to support their houses if merchant guild buys this information. Naturally is more than 25,000 gold paying in Dazay in it. It's necessity to invest. But it is possible enough to profit for the value that I only paid if I think in the long term, and is there not it?
Do you think that such a leisurely thing is used for business?
It will be a fact that this seems to have little taste for merchant guild if I think commonly. However, Stormcloak is fighting against an empire now. Even if whichever one, the profit must be only that I will continue drifting to the side where I overcame in detail as the present conditions. But how about when therefore merchant guild holds profit of one mine? the prophet is continued giving surely so that war wins by a civil war.
The suggestion given to the oracle was such a thing.
What say?
Not anything. Then will I hear your long-term plan?
Having got a strict promise this time only as for 4 people. Become 5 people if I include Sir Brunwolf. It's sure that there is it with the staff whom it's promised for that a person of all works in a mine. But a point to say when the house where I can work in a mine of orc and was ensured the security is promised is important. Windhelm, which is a port town, will be that a different kind group comes from the outside from now on. At that time, as for saying that there is land settling down with the same tribe, it will be with bread supporting a heart. If a person lives and I gather, naturally the prophet swells out. The information that brought in Dazay are nothing more than cause. How you treat it is to say on the merchant guild which is a buyer.
It shall be firm with the richness to believe in the future and comes to nothing if I have a hesitation in the thought. I decide to purchase alright, your information. But after all 25,000 gold is too high. How about in 20,000 gold?
I feel that there is not it on the justice for information and the labor that Dazay collected at the price. 23,500 wants you to pay at least.
After all, I made a little unfair demand. Then the merchant guild buys the information in 22,000 gold.
Even if the price negotiations are prolonged, the desires seem to become disadvantageous. It will be good. Let's decide to understand the amount of money.
Then I make documents for this contract. According to the former promise, the Windhelm Merchant Guild supports it for business in this ground in acknowledgement of your registration with every effort. I was able to feel the uncrowded thought of the chest after a long absence. Because the money of the balance of the thing beyond 10,000 gold prepares. Wait a minute. Are you intentioned that the back is left for a while around Windhelm and finds a clue of the future business?
I wanted to do Dazay so, but did not go to Riffin by business. So I intend to leave for Riffin as soon as the contract was over.
Riffin? When that ground is the land which considerably has a hard time in various ways in the Merchant Guild in the ground with the reason, I hear it. Probably it will have to be it economically in the place of this Skyrim to be land forced to a first difficulty attack. But you who brought in a thing beyond my expectation may make the opportunity that changes what it is.
It was only lucky by chance this time. I don't think that I go so well on the next time.
A contract was done. If I read contents and can understand, a signature, please.
Let's decide to contract in this which will be good.
I deliver it unexpectedly plainly. I thought the hill which dissatisfaction was reflected on a little to be this condition.
Does they believe that the person who bought a product became the smile and became a merchant? I believe that the person who bought information this time from Dazay surely makes people a smile.
I'm honored if I have you think so. It must prevent you from disappointing the expectation.
Oops. I forgot to confirm one.
What are you?
As for handling of the information that Merchant Guild held the right about the mine, may Dazay do as it would like?
Well, don't accomplish harm in the mine. May have like it if there is it, and treat it. Why such confirmation?
When I arrived at Windhelm, Dazay was about to be considered to be a furlong. Because I'm annoyed, the person whom I want to give a good score is necessary to just withdraw.
It's a thorough one of a type to have in a root in the party accepted, though I easily withdrew about the business. You must be careful that myself am not borne a grudge against.
I bear a grudge, and Dazay does not do the thing how very often. Think that it is playfulness peculiar to Khajiits.
Is it playfulness? Genuine Khajiits does not say such a thing by oneself. Because it is not proud, nothing says that I inquire further, but thinks that I want to do business with you if there is an opportunity again. I enjoy what kind of business you approach me with next.
By the way, is it easy to obtain the salt in Windhelm?
Oh, do you think about the management to do business at once in the next land?
There was the opportunity when I cooked regarding this time. It thought Dizay not to be bad to treat ingredients to get the smile of the person who bought a product.
There was not that oneself was called an inexperienced merchant when I came here by the lie. I did not think the product which owned treated not to have been fixed either.
I thought Dizay to sell a thing with a merchant, and to only profit. However, it feels like having known it somehow to say that with that alone it is no use by this affair. When the person who bought it should become the smile, I felt the product to treat of Dizay. Therefore, as for the article which fitted a smile without relations in the race to buy, a thing to use for a dish thought most.
I think that it is a wonderful thought. Surely it will become the wonderful product which the faith dwells into the article which you treat. I think that it was not wrong to have arranged the employment examination as me if I can find it, and I am glad and think.
So its acquisition of the salt.
It was so, provides information to be available at the price that it has good quality, and is reasonable immediately.
Really thank for your help by Sir Brunwolf, this matter.
The wonder is also to visit this place.
At no distant date.
Then I will decide to leave for the battlefield. Also see you when for carry a new season. I look forward to what you carry next.
Dizay is proud that I was able to act with a former hero. Shall the Dizay go, too?
However, it's the thing which does Caddy very much to brace Stormcloak with bluff.
Thanks to you, the wallet of the Desire got heavy.
But I let you fall for such an unbelievable story, well, to convey that Merchant Guild monopolized a mine of the ebony, and not to be able to obtain the ebony from the Merchant Guild if there was not a letter of introduction.
It's a fact that Merchant Guild and business with Orc were in condition that it is near to a monopoly. Dizay introduced a customer to the Merchant Guild.
There is not a careless mistake. I gained on customer introduction charges no matter how much.
It was 7,000 gold that I showed 10,000 gold and was able to really receive Dizay.
A dish when I arrived at Riften seems to have become grand. That reminds me, I had you tell it about Journey in the Oracle when you left the Merchant Guild but said that I was interested.
Without being different, the parting and the encounter with the person toward the destination, the way to light up being different in the destination.
What's it to have said?
That's it.
Dizay settles a problem in the very front and only advances. An answer cannot appear even if I think about the meaning of words of the Oracle, though I see it, and there is not yet even the destination of this trip.
It's so, too. I did not still hear how you urged it in Caddy, the Orc, where you told to talk after coming down. Do you want to hear the story for future reference?
The existence called the meal is indispensable so that a person lives. Even if it's different in a race to think that I want to do a delicious meal if I eat, it's the same.
I don't understand the meaning saying at all. Will you make a little more concrete words?
Even if races are different, basic thought is anything that I say when I do not change.
After all, I do not understand the meaning. You know, tell me in detail whether there was dot or what.
Well, what shall I talk from? Should I talk from the place where I told to teach me the basics of the dish?
Is it that thing that I talked in Merchant Guild?
Yes, it's so. It's a story after having come back to Windhelm once to have said that I teach the basics of the dish. When I met again at Kinnisgroven, I said it from
the Viking, where I ended the registration of the merchant in Windhelm and found the article to treat of own. But the threatening words appear and disappear by the oracle that suggested that it's generated from now on. It is the Viking stimulating step for Riften, but what will be waiting in the ground? I pushed forward the step with a chat for a settled problem now.